Okay, let's be honest, the Fantastic Four are at their best when you look beyond just Reed, Sue, Ben, and Johnny. Ever heard of Flux? Probably not, but this lesser-known hero, secretly Dennis Sykes, possessed the remarkable ability to manipulate matter itself. His powers manifested after a disastrous encounter with toxic waste, an event that tragically also inflicted him with a severe form of cancer. Fate dealt Dennis a cruel hand indeed. Facing a grim prognosis of only a month to live, Dennis chose to dedicate his remaining time to heroism, adopting the moniker Flux. In a surprising turn of events, he even found himself fighting alongside the legendary Fantastic Four, joining their ranks to protect Ego the living planet from a dangerous biomineral parasite. Though Flux ultimately made the ultimate sacrifice in this battle, his courageous actions and selfless dedication will always be remembered. Crystal, an inhuman princess, claims the 9th spot. Joining the Fantastic Four in 1968, she brought a unique set of elemental powers to the team. As the sister of Medusa, queen of the Inhumans, royalty runs in her family, but Crystal carved her own path as a hero. She commands the very elements, earth, air, fire, and water, bending them to her will. Adding a spark to her life, Crystal even shared a passionate romance with the Human Torch, proving that opposites really do attract. Talk about a hot date indeed. Next up is Medusa, another Inhuman royal and, as you heard, Crystal's sister. But don't let the family ties fool you. Medusa is a force to be reckoned with in her own right. She possesses seriously awesome prehensile hair, which she can control with the power of her mind. Imagine the styling possibilities and the combat applications. Beyond her incredible hair, Medusa is also super strong, agile, and remarkably durable, making her a skilled fighter in close quarters or at a distance with her living locks. Interestingly, Medusa's history isn't entirely heroic. During a bout of amnesia, she even sided with the villainous Frightful Four, finding herself in the ironic position of battling against her own sister's team, the Fantastic Four. Talk about a bad hair day and a complicated family dynamic. Landing at number 7, it's the hero for hire himself, Luke Cage. This streetwise brawler, hailing from the gritty streets of New York, boasts unbreakable skin and formidable super strength. He found himself unexpectedly recruited into the Fantastic Four when the ever-loving Thing temporarily lost his powers. Initially, Luke was far from enthusiastic about joining this team of cosmic adventurers. He felt distinctly out of his element amidst their high-flying escapades and scientific pursuits, a stark contrast to his usual street-level heroics. Despite his initial reservations, Luke's inherent heroism and unique skill set ultimately won out. He came around to the team dynamic and undeniably proved to be a valuable asset to the FF, bringing a grounded perspective and raw power to their often outlandish missions. Can you even picture Luke Cage blasting off into the inky blackness of space alongside the Fantastic Four? That's a scenario ripe for a classic what if comic book. Crashing into number 6 with gamma-powered strength is She-Hulk. Jennifer Walters, the witty and powerful cousin of Bruce Banner, is a force to be reckoned with. Unlike her cousin in his early days, Jennifer expertly controls her transformations into the incredible She-Hulk, maintaining her intelligence and personality in her larger, greener form. Interestingly, She-Hulk has joined the Fantastic Four not just once, but twice, proving her adaptability and value to the team. Her first stint was during the monumental Secret Wars event when Ben Grimm, the Thing, was temporarily depowered. She later rejoined during other comic storylines, solidifying her place as a friend and ally of the FF. More recently, She-Hulk even starred in her own Disney Plus show, bringing her fourth wall-breaking antics to the small screen. However, while beloved by some fans, the show didn't quite become a critical darling. Perhaps She-Hulk's true calling remains in the realm of smashing villains and saving the day, rather than smashing through the expectations of television critics. Claiming the 5th spot, we have a truly unexpected team, the new Fantastic Four. Forget Reed, Sue, Ben, and Johnny. This temporary lineup was a wild departure from the norm, featuring the unlikely quartet of Hulk, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. Talk about a wildcard team assembled from the furthest corners of the Marvel Universe. This bizarrely powerful foursome was thrown together under the gravest of circumstances, the apparent demise of the original Fantastic Four. Stepping into the void left by their fallen predecessors, the new Fantastic Four faced immediate and immense threats, battling classic FF villains like the Subterranean Mole Man and even tangling with the demonic Mephisto himself. It was a chaotic, powerful, and utterly unforgettable chapter in Fantastic Four history. Wakanda Forever. Heralding in the top 5 at number 4 is the regal Black Panther. T'Challa, the brilliant king of Wakanda, answered the call to join the Fantastic Four, stepping in alongside Storm during a period when Reed Richards and Sue Storm took a leave of absence. Black Panther's inclusion brought a unique and potent dynamic to the team. His already formidable fighting skills were amplified by his Wakandan technology, including his vibranium suit and advanced weaponry. Beyond his physical prowess, T'Challa's strategic mind and tactical brilliance proved invaluable in navigating complex situations and threats that the Fantastic Four regularly faced. He truly elevated the team's capabilities, adding a whole new level of awesome to their adventures. Breaking into the top 3 at number 3, we have the magnificent, weather-wielding mutant, Storm. Yes, you heard right. Aurora Monroe, the iconic leader of the X-Men, actually joined the ranks of the Fantastic Four for a period. It's a testament to her incredible power and versatility that she could seamlessly transition from leading mutant kind to adventuring with Marvel's first family. Just imagine the sheer force of nature unleashed by the combined might of Storm, with her command over weather and atmosphere, and the Invisible Woman, with her unparalleled control over invisibility and force fields. Together, they would be an unstoppable force, capable of weathering any storm and overcoming any obstacle. Securing the second spot on our list is the incredible Ms. Marvel, also known as Sharon Ventura. This dynamic hero made her entrance onto the Fantastic Four scene in September of 1987, initially joining as just Ms. Marvel. However, her time with the team took a truly transformative turn when she was exposed to cosmic rays, much like the original Fantastic Four themselves. This exposure triggered a dramatic change, granting Sharon rock-like skin and enhanced strength, mirroring the powers of the Thing. In a fitting twist of fate, she embraced her new abilities and officially adopted the moniker of She-Thing, becoming a powerful and visually striking member of the team. Talk about a truly fantastic transformation, both in name and in power. And finally, claiming the coveted top spot on our list are none other than Franklin and Valeria Richards. Don't let their ages fool you. These siblings, the offspring of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman, are far from ordinary children. In fact, they are arguably two of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel universe. Franklin in particular is an Omega-level mutant of unimaginable power, wielding reality-warping abilities that defy comprehension. His potential is so vast that he can literally conjure entire universes into existence simply with the power of his imagination. Valeria, not to be outdone, is a super genius of unparalleled intellect, possessing incredible psionic abilities that allow her to manipulate minds and perceive realities beyond normal human comprehension. Together, Franklin and Valeria form a dynamic duo unlike any other. Despite their youth, they have repeatedly stepped up to save not only their parents and the Fantastic Four, but indeed the entire world from cosmic threats and unimaginable dangers, proving that sometimes the greatest heroes come in the smallest packages.
Number 10, Mole Man. Mole Man is the original Fantastic Four villain. He's where their fight with evil all began back in issue number 1 of the Fantastic Four series. While Mole Man's radar sense might not be as impressive and may not quite rival that of Daredevil's enhanced senses, Harvey Elder is also a super genius who generally has an army of monstrous creatures at his back, whether it be the Moloids or the creatures of Monster Isle. Either way, they generally tend to be fearsome and often deviant related, oddly enough. And friends, before we move on to our next spot, if you are loving what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, please go check out our newest channel, Most Amazing Top 10 Anime. Number 9, TVA, also known as the Time Variance Authority. This power time regulating and maintaining order has also served as a Fantastic Four villain in the past. This was because the Fantastic Four were in essence kind of charged with breaking some laws of time, creating some temporal problems, if you will. The Time Variance Authority, watching and governing over time as they do to ensure minimal temporal disruptions, are considered to be quite powerful in the Marvel multiverse. Although they aren't the only ones that try to rule over time, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later, perhaps. Number 8, Skrulls. It feels weird ranking the Skrulls so low on this list, considering, they're a whole group, a whole cosmic empire of people. And they aren't just any old alien race either in the Marvel universe. The Skrulls are known for being one of the most capable and at times fearsome races. If you happen to have to go up against them, that is. Which is exactly what happened to begin with in Fantastic Four issue number 2, the second issue ever of the series, where the most Fantastic first family of Marvel were pitted up against a Skrull invasion. Yep, the Skrulls wanted to invade Earth. Well, this would of course eventually happen. This time around, it only took the Fantastic Four to kind of dissuade the Skrulls from invading Earth and kind of convincing them it wasn't really a great idea, at least not right now. They would return, and for a long time in the comics would actually act as a recurring enemy to the Fantastic Four family. Until now, when a Skrull child, Nankala, would actually end up adopted into the family, becoming the adopted daughter of Ben Grimm and Alicia Masters Grimm following the events of Empire. Things really have come full circle now. Number 7. Impossible Man. Impossible Man has to be one of the weirdest Fantastic Four villains out there, and yet somehow he also happens to be one of the most powerful. He is a shapeshifter, but unlike the Skrulls, he hails from an alien race that is less well known over at Marvel Comics, especially as Impossible Man doesn't appear as frequently and hasn't appeared as recently either as the Skrulls. I think the last time we saw Impossible Man was in like 2013, so it's been a minute. So, who is he? Impossible Man is an alien belonging to the race known as the Papapians. He can transform into almost anything and can even split himself into multiple parts. In fact, this is how Papapians reproduce. He appeared as early as issue number 11 of the Fantastic Four and hails, like all Papapians, from the 10th galaxy. In terms of presentation, he's somewhat similar to Superman's own villainous, overpowered nuisance, Mr. Mxyzptlk. Number 6. Namor the Submariner. One of the things Namor is most well known for is his rivalry with the Fantastic Four. While Namor existed in the comics way before the Fantastic Four were ever introduced, he ended up as one of their first enemies in their own comic, appearing as early as issue number 4 in that original series. Here, Namor becomes infatuated with Sue Storm and attempts to kidnap her, stealing her away from the team. In this way, Namor would always remain as kind of a complex individual when it came to his relationship with the Fantastic Four. While he has acted as a major villain in the comics to them before and to others, he's also provided aid to the team and to others, acting as a hero and an ally. In fact, during King in Black, Namor was even called upon by Sue to help battle Null and journey to the depths to reconnect with the eldritch empowered villains known as the Black Tide. Number 5. Galactus. Galactus is another super iconic Fantastic Four villain, especially considering the team's relationship and ties to Galactus' herald, the Silver Surfer. One of his heralds, at least anyways. Galactus is known as a planet devourer and is a massive cosmic being brimming with intense cosmic energy. It's also been said that his existence is one of the universe's constants, or at least one iteration of the universe and Marvel multiverse. Because, yeah, he currently isn't around. At one point, even Franklin Richards, though, does become an alternate version of Galactus in a future. Currently in the comics, Galactus is no more, though, having been defeated and permanently killed by Thor during his confrontation with the Black Winter, with Galactus' helm being used as Thor's new throne room. So, it just goes to show, even some of the most giant of villains can fall, and fall he has. And just because you're the biggest and baddest, it doesn't always mean that you're the most powerful. Number 4. Molecule Man. Molecule Man was once one of the most powerful opponents and enemies of the Fantastic Four, and many other heroes in the Marvel multiverse as well. Initially, the only way the Fantastic Four could first defeat him was by Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, discovering a weakness of Molecule Man's, that Owen Reese's Molecule Man could not manipulate the molecules of living things, organic matter. But over time, even this rule would change and be broken. It would be revealed that this limitation was not actually real, but merely one imposed on Owen by himself, having placed mental blocks in the way that made him believe he could not manipulate organic matter. He's been shown to have overcome this mental block for a time, and at that point he was likely one of the most powerful beings in all of the Marvel multiverse. Or I guess I should say from that point on, because even up until the end of Molecule Man, I would say he was one of the most powerful beings that we had. Number 3. The Griever at the End of All Things. The Griever at the End of All Things was someone who proved their power almost instantly in the comics. Like, as soon as they appeared, they were like, this is where I am on the ladder of power. A kind of one-up villain, if you will. She was the one who managed to defeat Molecule Man for good, killing him during his time adventuring with the Fantastic Four when he aimed to fix the multiverse with Reed Richards, Franklin Richards, and of course the rest of the FF. And the Griever actually killed Molecule Man apparently like super dead. Like normally Owen Reese can kind of come back, but apparently this is like a death you can't come back from, if you will. The Griever at the End of All Things described herself as basically being inevitable. saying that her purpose was to watch as everything from the edge of eternity died and witness and mourn its passing. We haven't seen her since then, I don't think, but she seemed pretty cool and she did a pretty crazy thing, so I feel like I'd be remiss to not mention her. Number 2. Kang the Conqueror. Kang the Conqueror might be better known for being an Avengers villain, but they aren't the only ones who have tangled with the time-traveling villain. Kang is also a villain intrinsically tied to the Fantastic Four via the Richards family, with it even being believed that Kang may be a future descendant of Reed Richards, with his name being Nathaniel Richards in his initial iteration before he evolves a few times to eventually become Kang. And even if he isn't related to Reed, he's also rumored to be related alternatively to another, even more powerful and iconic villain of the FF. As we've seen in the comics, while 2 Kangs may stand a chance against this villain, who takes our number 1 spot, 1 Kang is likely not enough. Who is the number 1? Who is the person that could also be related to Kang? Number 1. Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom definitely has to be one of the most powerful foes of the Fantastic Four, if not the most powerful, which is why I had to give him our top spot. And he's also known for being one of the most iconic villains of the Fantastic Four as well. Doom, while seemingly just a man in a metal suit, is actually much more than that. He's a genius, a political powerhouse, sometimes a gentleman, and is also extremely gifted in the art of magic. He traveled back in time to train with former pupil of Merlin himself, Morgan Le Fay, also known for her immense magical power in the Marvel Universe. Doom has been powerful enough to even be considered a potential candidate for the role of Sorcerer Supreme, and when acting as a hero, has shown the strength of his will and his might, being bold enough to save the Marvel Multiverse in the events leading up to Secret Wars, and becoming God Emperor Doom of his own battle world during that event, and being brave enough to take on the role of hero Iron Man after Tony Stark was left comatose following the events of Civil War II, becoming known editorially as Infamous Iron Man.
And at number 10, the Zombie Fantastic Four from Earth 2149. Oh, zombie versions of Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben, if that wasn't already obvious. They came to be after the Fantastic Four, out trying to help the zombie-infested city on their Earth, returned to the Baxter Building, only to discover that She-Hulk, who had been infected, killed Sue and Reed's children, Franklin and Valeria. Sue blows up She-Hulk's head with a force field in retaliation. Joining up with the rest of the Resistance, Reed begins to investigate the zombie virus, fascinated by it, marveling at the zombie's efficiency, which does not bode well with Sue. And later Reed loses his mind altogether, tricking the rest of the Fantastic Four by pricking their skin with the zombie virus, ultimately transforming them. They all attack him, biting him, and infect him as well. I mean, when you want to manipulate your whole team to do something and you don't want to be the one who does it first, I guess that makes sense. Still, Reed. Oh, Reed. And at number 9, the Fin Fang Four. The Fin Fang Four are an alternate Earth group of superheroes who are led by none other than Fin Fang Foom. Gugam, Gorilla, and Electro make up the other members of the team, and they go around on adventures that parody the adventures of the Fantastic Four. Here's the gimmick though. All 4 of these monsters have been shrunk down to human size. They reform and end up working jobs for the Fantastic Four, and of course shenanigans ensue. As you may have guessed, this series was a comedic one. In at number 8, the Marvel Bullpen Fantastic Four. Here we have a parody version of the Fantastic Four in which the original Marvel Bullpen became the famous quartet, thanks to cosmic rays that shoot out of a box that was delivered to the Marvel office in the early 60s. The group consists of Stan Lee as Mr. Fantastic, Jack Kirby as a Thing, Saul Brodsky as the Human Torch, and Flo Steinberg as Invisible Girl. They're granted superpowers and go around over the next 2 decades on secret missions, all while publishing comics as their day job. And really, it's their self-reflexivity that makes them so powerful in the long run, if we're being honest. And at number 7, Challengers of the Fantastic. The Challengers of the Fantastic are from the Amalgam Universe, the universe that combines the characters of the DC and Marvel universes. This means that they're a combination of the Fantastic Four and DC's Challengers of the Unknown, who were a group that debuted in 1957, created by Jack Kirby. They explored science fiction and paranormal occurrences. The concept of the Challengers would later be reworked into the Fantastic Four with Stan Lee. Known as the world's greatest death cheaters, there are some obvious differences between them and their 616 counterparts. The Thing has 4 arms, Reed is a scientific genius who uses robotic arms instead of stretching, and Johnny Storm uses a flamethrower. A little lacking there, isn't it, Johnny? Kind of a downgrade. And at number 6, the Mangaverse Fantastic Four. The Marvel Mangaverse is the Marvel Universe reimagined in the style of Japanese manga. In it, the Fantastic Four are still Reed, Sue, Ben, and Johnny, except their personalities differ quite a bit. Reed is more sarcastic, he's a womanizer, and he does not like combat. Instead, he uses his stretching abilities to increase his brain size and power. Brain power, that is. Sue is very emotionally distant and quiet. Johnny is now Jonatha, a woman, who still acts like a bit of a loose cannon. And finally, Unfortunately, Ben is crude and swears like a sailor. When the team gets into fights, Reed stays in the Baxter building and monitors the group, and the rest of them wear suits that augment their powers to new heights. Moving on to number 5, the Future Foundation. Here we have one of the Fantastic Four alternate teams from Earth 1610, also known as the Ultimates universe. They're also the team that succeeded the original Fantastic Four in the Ultimates universe. First appearing in 2014's Ultimate FF, this team was inspired by the defunct Fantastic Four, who had broken up thanks to a series of tragic events. Sue also left Reed. Serves him right. This version was founded by Tony Stark and led by Sue Storm along with Phil Coulson. They're told by Spider-Ham, who had fled from another universe on the brink of destruction, that in order to save their own universe, Sue and Reed Richards need to have a child, which didn't really go over well with Sue. I feel like I'm hating on Reed a lot just because Sasha hates Reed. just kinda got into me. Moving on to number 4, Four Fantastics. The Four Fantastics from Earth 187319 first appeared in Exiles Volume 1, Issue 95 back in 2007. They're a version of the team in which Victor Von Doom is Mr. Fantastic and leads them, and instead of the Thing, the Hulk is now part of the group. Their Earth is an Earth with no crime, hate, or fear thanks to Victor's rule. Meanwhile, Reed lives underground as a fugitive, and he and Victor's feud is one that the Exiles team finds themselves caught between. But regardless, this team has a Hulk. So they kinda win in the power department, don't they? Moving on to number 3, the New Fantastic Four. The New Fantastic Four are actually an iteration of the group rather than alternates of Reed, Sue, Ben, and Johnny, and they still exist on Earth 616. Initially, they were tricked into starting this new group by a Skrull named Delilah, who was an empath. She shapeshifted into Sue Storm, pretending to be the hero, and convinced Spider-Man, the Hulk, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider to form a new Fantastic Four group to avenge the original Fantastic Four's deaths. They weren't actually dead, she had just captured them. The team has disbanded, but has regrouped on several occasions since. They would later operate as the Secret Defenders when Doctor Strange requested that they work together to bring the Human Torch in for arson. Regardless, they're a pretty solid bunch. With the Hulk's OP'd abilities combined with Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider, the team packs a whole lot of punch, and even managed to take on the Sinister Six too. Moving on to number 2, the Fantastic Five from the MC2. The Fantastic Five are the Earth 92 version of the Fantastic Four. That Earth is also known as the MC2. It's an Earth in which the Age of Heroes happened 15 years earlier than when it happened on 616. Now the Age of Heroes is marked by the first appearance of the Fantastic Four, kind of like how Iron Man's reveal in the MCU was the public debut to superhero activity in that universe. Anywho, the MC2 Fantastic Five are what the original Fantastic Four became after the team fought with Hyperstorm in the Negative Zone. Reed and Sue had to stay behind in the Negative Zone due to injuries, so Johnny Storm stepped up and led the team, with his wife Lyja, Franklin Richards, who is the son of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, and a robot called Big Brain that Reed had built. Franklin would operate under the mantle of Psy-Lord, and later when his powers increased vastly thanks to cosmic ray exposure, he became radioactive, having to wear a special helmet that contained his head. His skull shined through his face. While it seems that Franklin of this Earth doesn't have the same powers as the 616 self, he's still a powerful telepath and telekinetic, making this version of the team quite strong. And last but not least, in at number 1, the Fantastic Thors. It's not just great wordplay. These alternates are from Earth 15143, and took part in the Siege storyline Volume 2 Issue 4, in which they helped defend Battleworld's shield during its final siege. They're part of the Thor Corps, also funny wordplay, and have the same names as they do in the 616. Susan Storm, Johnny Storm, Ben Grimm, and Reed Richards. Not much is known about their history outside of the fact that on their Earth, they joined the Thor Corps in order to enforce God Emperor Doom's laws, and to keep the peace on Battleworld. Their powers are seemingly those of their 616 counterparts combined with the powers of Thor, meaning they wield all of the same abilities as the Asgardian God of Thunder. Not too shabby of an upgrade, that's for sure.